What if I told you that some of Hollywood's most glamorous stars weren't destroyed by bad roles, fading fame, or studio politics, but by their own inability to stay loyal? Behind the red carpets and polished smiles were secret affairs, double lives, and scandals that the studios tried desperately to hide. Today, we're counting down 15 Hollywood stars who simply couldn't stop cheating. Stories that shocked fans, wrecked marriages, and rewrote Hollywood history. In this countdown, we're revealing the stories of iconic actors and actresses whose affairs weren't just mistakes. They were patterns. Patterns that burned careers, destroyed relationships, and exposed the darker, messier human side of Hollywood's brightest stars. These are 15 Hollywood legends who couldn't stop cheating. 15. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn wasn't just a swashbuckling hero on screen. He embodied the same daring lifestyle off-screen. Known for his charm, charisma, and devil-may-care attitude, Flynn's personal life was a whirlwind of affairs, scandals, and relentless indulgence. Married 3 times and famously unfaithful throughout, he cultivated a reputation as Hollywood's ultimate bad boy. His escapades weren't confined to whispers behind closed doors. Tabloids gleefully chronicled his escapades, painting a picture of a man who lived for pleasure, risk, and notoriety. Despite the moral outrage and public fascination, Flynn's sexual exploits became part of his persona, feeding the mythology of the reckless, irresistible movie star. Whether seducing co-stars, pursuing secret romances, or pushing societal boundaries, Flynn's lifestyle blurred the lines between fiction and reality. His legacy as an actor remains intact, but his personal history reminds us that in classic Hollywood, charisma, scandal, and infidelity often walked hand in hand. 14. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman, celebrated as America's darling and screen icon, shocked the world with a scandal that rocked Hollywood to its core. While still married, she began an affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini, a decision that ignited widespread condemnation. The moral outrage was so intense that she was denounced in Congress, and her Hollywood career temporarily suffered due to blacklisting. Bergman's choices weren't just a matter of private indiscretion. They challenged cultural norms and the expectations placed upon female stars in the 1940s. Her affair caused public debates about morality, artistic freedom, and the role of women in cinema. Despite the backlash, Bergman pursued her desires unapologetically, showing a fierce independence that set her apart from her peers. While her personal life created controversy, her talent, poise, and determination ensured she would eventually reclaim her place among Hollywood legends. Bergman's story illustrates the tension between personal choice and public scrutiny in the golden age of film. 13. Clark Gable. The quintessential leading man of Hollywood's golden era was famous for his charm, charisma, and on-screen magnetism, traits that spilled into his personal life. Married 5 times, Gable maintained a long list of affairs with co-stars, studio assistants, and extras, leaving a complicated trail of romantic entanglements. His secret relationship with Loretta Young even resulted in a child the studio hid for decades, a scandal that only came to light years later. Gable's infidelity was notorious, but his appeal remained undeniable. Audiences couldn't resist his swagger, and studios turned a blind eye to his personal life because of his box office draw. Yet behind the charm was a man unafraid to follow his impulses, regardless of social consequences or marital obligations. His life illustrates the dark side of fame, how unchecked privilege, celebrity status, and a magnetic persona can enable a lifestyle where desire consistently trumped responsibility. 12. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner, one of the most captivating women in Hollywood history, was renowned for her beauty, talent, and fierce independence. Her passionate nature led to numerous affairs, often overlapping with her marriages, including those to Mickey Rooney and Artie Shaw. Perhaps most infamous was her romance with Frank Sinatra, which not only destroyed his marriage, but created one of Hollywood's most explosive scandals. Gardner's relationships often defied social norms and caused public uproar, yet she pursued her desires unapologetically. She lived life on her own terms, prioritizing passion over convention, even if it meant hurting others or courting controversy. Hollywood's fascination with her personal life matched her on-screen allure, making her both admired and scandalized. Gardner's story underscores a recurrent Hollywood theme. Talent and beauty can come with a price, particularly when combined with personal autonomy that challenges societal expectations. She remains a symbol of unapologetic freedom, sensuality, and the chaos that can accompany it. 11. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, remembered as a screen legend and the ultimate Hollywood tough guy, had a personal life as turbulent as his iconic film roles. Before his enduring love story with Lauren Bacall, Bogart's marriage to Mayo Methot was marked by constant drinking, volatile arguments, and infidelity. Their tumultuous relationship earned them the moniker the Battling Bogarts in the press, highlighting the drama that accompanied their private lives. Bogart's wandering eye and impulsive behavior left a trail of heartache, but it also cemented his reputation as a man both brilliant and flawed. Even as he found stability and romance with Bacall, his earlier infidelities remained a defining feature of his personal narrative. Bogart's life exemplifies the duality of Hollywood's golden age, where charisma, talent, and on-screen heroism coexisted with off-screen moral complexity, human flaws, and personal scandals. His legacy is a blend of cinematic greatness and the enduring intrigue of his complicated private life. 10. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, the global icon of beauty, charm, and sensuality, lived a personal life rife with complexity, heartache, and controversial relationships. Despite her star power, Monroe's private life was filled with loneliness and emotionally complicated affairs. She was rumored to have relationships with married men, including powerful studio executives and political figures, placing her in the eye of public scrutiny. Her marriages to Joe DiMaggio and Arthur Miller were strained by emotional distance, mistrust, and allegations of infidelity on both sides. Monroe's personal life reflected the pressures of Hollywood, where glamour often masked deep insecurity and vulnerability. Even as her public persona radiated confidence and charisma, her private experiences revealed the human cost of fame. Monroe's story illustrates how infidelity, both given and received, shaped the lives of Hollywood's brightest stars, making her legacy not only one of beauty and talent, but also of complex human relationships and emotional fragility. 9. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, the legendary crooner whose voice defined an era, also led a tumultuous love life that mirrored his on-stage intensity. Throughout his life, Sinatra was notorious for his affairs, cheating in every marriage he entered. His passionate temperament, charisma, and impulsivity made him a constant figure in Hollywood gossip columns. One of the most publicized was his marriage to Ava Gardner, marked by both fiery romance and betrayal. Sinatra's affairs were widely known, but his popularity and talent allowed him to maintain a successful career despite public scrutiny. His personal life exemplified the archetype of the Hollywood playboy, a man whose charm could woo the world but could not tame his own impulses. Sinatra's story underscores the dichotomy between professional success and personal chaos, highlighting how fame often amplifies both the allure and the flaws of extraordinary individuals. 8. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's life was a roller coaster of love, passion, and scandal. One of Hollywood's most beautiful and celebrated actresses, she often made headlines for her affairs, which frequently involved married men. Her infamous relationship with Eddie Fisher, who was married to Debbie Reynolds at the time, caused a national scandal and catapulted Taylor into notoriety. Later, her relationship with Richard Burton, which began as an affair while he was married, became legendary for its intensity, volatility, and media attention. Taylor's personal life intertwined with her professional persona as she continuously challenged societal norms regarding love, marriage, and sexuality. Her choices reflected a woman unafraid to follow her heart, even when it defied morality, public opinion, or personal safety. Taylor's story is emblematic of Hollywood's fascination with scandal, demonstrating that beauty, talent, and public scrutiny often collided to create unforgettable cultural moments. 7. Eddie Fisher. Eddie Fisher, a clean-cut crooner with a wholesome image, became the epicenter of one of Hollywood's most infamous cheating scandals. Married to America's sweetheart, Debbie Reynolds, Fisher left her for Elizabeth Taylor, igniting public outrage and permanently tarnishing his reputation. His affair not only destroyed a high-profile marriage, but also effectively ended his once thriving career. Fisher's infidelity starkly contrasted with his carefully cultivated image, demonstrating how personal choices could dramatically impact professional standing in Hollywood. He became a cautionary tale of how public perception can turn swiftly against even the most celebrated figures. While Fisher continued to perform and maintain a presence in entertainment, the scandal overshadowed much of his talent and legacy. His story serves as a reminder that Hollywood's fascination with morality and personal drama often eclipses the work and artistry of its stars, with infidelity becoming a defining aspect of public memory. 6. Richard Burton. Richard Burton, celebrated for his extraordinary acting talent, was equally renowned for his scandalous personal life. His affair with Elizabeth Taylor began while both were married to other people, creating an explosive Hollywood narrative of love, betrayal, and obsession. Burton and Taylor's relationship became a media spectacle, filled with passionate reconciliations, dramatic breakups, and public scrutiny that fascinated audiences worldwide. Infidelity was not limited to their union. Both engaged in extramarital relationships, making their love story one of intensity and chaos. Burton's personal life demonstrated a willingness to pursue desire without restraint, regardless of societal judgment. The actor's charisma, talent, and turbulent love life made him a figure both admired and criticized. His story highlights Hollywood's complex interplay between professional brilliance and private indiscretion, illustrating how public fascination with romance and scandal can shape a celebrity's legacy as much as their artistic accomplishments. 5. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, an unparalleled talent with a voice that defined generations, endured a personal life marked by turmoil, addiction, and instability. Her relationships were often tumultuous, affected by her struggles with fame, mental health, and substance abuse. Throughout her marriages, Garland engaged in multiple affairs, sometimes seeking comfort, attention, or escape from her relentless pressures. Her love was intense but often destructive, leaving emotional scars on both herself and those around her. Garland's life highlights the intersection of vulnerability, celebrity, and the demands of a high-pressure industry. She was a woman constantly seeking love and validation while managing an unforgiving public persona. Despite her personal chaos, Garland's artistry and enduring influence in music and film remain undisputed. Her story serves as a poignant reminder of the human complexities behind fame, illustrating that even extraordinary talent cannot shield one from the emotional turbulence of life and love. 4. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, one of cinema's most brilliant and beloved figures, was equally infamous for his personal escapades. Throughout his marriages, Chaplin engaged in repeated affairs with younger women, including actresses and extras from his own films. His relationships often ended in scandal, divorce, and even legal battles, which attracted significant media attention. Chaplin's infidelity did not diminish his artistic genius, but it did cast a long shadow over his personal reputation. His life demonstrates how charisma, creativity, and fame can sometimes embolden questionable behavior, blurring the line between private indiscretion and public persona. Chaplin's ability to craft timeless comedy and socially relevant films contrasts sharply with his morally ambiguous private life, illustrating the duality that many Hollywood legends embody. His story serves as both a cautionary tale and a study of the complex interplay between talent, personal choices, and public perception. 3. Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty earned the title of Hollywood's ultimate playboy long before settling down. His reputation for romantic conquests was legendary, spanning actresses, models, musicians, and countless others. Even Beatty's most serious relationships were punctuated by infidelity, establishing a public persona that thrived on charm, seduction, and scandal. His affairs were widely chronicled, forming an essential part of his celebrity identity. While he achieved considerable artistic and commercial success, Beatty's personal life continually captured media attention, demonstrating the industry's obsession with both talent and intrigue. His story highlights the blurred line between professional accomplishments and personal reputation in Hollywood. Beatty's romantic exploits became almost as famous as his films, shaping the public's perception of him as a man who lived life on his own terms, embracing desire, adventure, and a constant pursuit of passion, sometimes at the expense of loyalty or stability. 2. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, iconic for her glamour, ambition, and commanding screen presence, led a personal life marked by numerous affairs throughout her marriages. Her relationships with co-stars, directors, and studio executives were often as strategic as they were passionate, reflecting both desire and ambition. Crawford pursued those she wanted without restraint, leveraging charm, influence, and determination to achieve personal and professional goals. Hollywood's golden age frequently encouraged or excused such behavior among its stars. Yet Crawford's boldness and assertiveness still attracted public fascination. Her affairs were a reflection of her complex personality, driven, determined, and unapologetically self-assured. Beyond romance, Crawford's actions demonstrated a keen awareness of power dynamics in Hollywood, using personal relationships to navigate a male-dominated industry. Her legacy is multifaceted, celebrated for her talent, feared for her intensity, and remembered for a personal life that was as dramatic and compelling as the roles she portrayed on screen. 1. John F. Kennedy, Hollywood's unofficial star. Though not an actor, John F. Kennedy's life intersected with Hollywood in ways few politicians ever experience. His charisma, charm, and public image made him a star on and off the screen. Yet beneath the polished persona lay a private life marked by notorious infidelity. Kennedy's alleged affairs with actresses, including the legendary Marilyn Monroe, captivated both Hollywood and Washington, blending politics with celebrity scandal. His extramarital relationships were reckless, often public in their insinuation, and demonstrated a disregard for both moral and political consequences. Despite his presidential responsibilities and public scrutiny, Kennedy's love life was audaciously high-profile, making him one of history's most infamous figures in terms of romantic escapades. His story reflects the power of charisma, the allure of fame, and the human propensity for desire, illustrating how Hollywood's influence extended even into the highest levels of political life. JFK's romantic legacy remains a cautionary tale of fame, temptation, and public fascination. These 15 stories reveal a truth Hollywood spent decades trying to hide. Behind the glamour were stars battling impulses, secrets, and temptations that no studio contract could control. Some paid the price with broken marriages. Some paid with destroyed reputations. And some left behind scandals that still echo through Hollywood today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden history of Hollywood, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. This world is full of secret affairs, buried scandals, and forgotten stories. And trust me, we're just getting started. Just getting started. Just getting started.
What if I told you that some of Hollywood's most legendary action stars, known for their death-defying stunts and larger-than-life personas, met tragic ends that shocked the world? Behind the tough guy roles, the high-speed chases, and the exploding set pieces, these men faced battles far more dangerous than anything they ever encountered on screen. But not all heroes get a happy ending. Here are 10 action stars whose deaths were as shocking and tragic as the roles they played. You won't believe what happened to some of these icons. Number 10. Bruce Lee. The martial arts legend's mysterious death shocked the world. But what if everything you've been told about it was a lie? Bruce Lee collapsed suddenly at just 32 years old, at the absolute peak of his career. The official story: cerebral edema from an allergic reaction to a headache medication. But the truth is far more sinister. Lee was making enemies in Hong Kong's underworld. Some insiders whispered about Chinese gangsters putting a hit on him. Others spoke of an ancient family curse. His final hours were surrounded by scandal. He collapsed at an actress's apartment, not his own home, as initially reported. The studio scrambled to protect his image. His son Brandon later died in a freak accident on a movie set. Coincidence, or something more sinister? The Lee family deaths remain Hollywood's most disturbing unsolved mystery. Bruce died just days before the release of Enter the Dragon, the film that would have made him a global superstar, a timing so tragic it feels almost scripted. Number 9. James Dean. Hollywood's ultimate bad boy met a fate so ironic, it feels like the plot of one of his tragic films. Dean, racing his Porsche Spyder at breakneck speeds, crashed violently at a California intersection, his promising life snuffed out at just 24. But here's what they didn't tell you. Dean received a speeding ticket just hours before his death, ignoring the warning that would have saved his life. The car itself, nicknamed Little Bastard, became infamous as cursed. Parts salvaged from the wreckage reportedly caused accidents, injuries, and deaths for years afterward. Dean's broken body was so horrifically mangled that funeral attendees were spared the open casket viewing typical of the era. The ultimate tragedy? Dean's two defining films, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, were released after his death. He never lived to see his legendary status. His famous quote, "Live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse," became a chilling prophecy. Dean's death was so preventable, so needless, that it haunts Hollywood to this day. Number 8. Steve McQueen. The king of cool died in a way that shattered his tough guy image forever. McQueen, who cheated death on screen countless times, couldn't escape the cancer eating him alive at just 50 years old. But here's the devastating truth Hollywood executives tried to hide. McQueen's fatal mesothelioma likely came from the asbestos in movie set insulation and the racing helmets he wore in his dangerous hobby. In his final desperate months, the action star fled to Mexico, seeking miracle cures banned in America. Coffee enemas, laetrile treatments, and mystical healing. His body, once Hollywood's symbol of rugged masculinity, wasted away beyond recognition. The final blow? After battling through experimental treatments, McQueen died from a heart attack following surgery to remove tumors, a procedure American doctors warned would kill him. His last photos, snapped by paparazzi against his will, show a bearded, unrecognizable man who'd lost his legendary physique. McQueen, who made millions performing dangerous stunts, was ultimately killed by simply breathing the air on movie sets. The studio system that made him famous ultimately contributed to his demise. Number 7. Errol Flynn. Hollywood's original swashbuckling heartthrob lived hard, played harder, and died under circumstances so scandalous they're still whispered about today. Flynn, looking decades older than his 50 years thanks to legendary alcohol and drug abuse, collapsed while trying to sell his beloved yacht. A desperate attempt to solve financial problems few knew existed. The truth? The star of Captain Blood and Robin Hood died broke, and his fortune was squandered on women, booze, and failed ventures. His autopsy revealed the body of an 80-year-old man. Decades of hard living had ravaged him from the inside out. But the circumstances surrounding his final moments were even more shocking. Flynn died in the home of a young doctor he'd just met, reportedly after a days-long party binge. His infamous last words, "I've had a hell of a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed every minute of it," mask a tragic reality. Flynn died a pariah in Hollywood, blacklisted after statutory rape trials destroyed his reputation. The studios abandoned the star who'd made them millions. His autobiography, aptly titled My Wicked, Wicked Ways, hit bookstores just days after his body was cold. Number 6. Robert Conrad. The tough guy star of the Wild Wild West survived decades of dangerous stunts only to be betrayed by his own body. Conrad built his career on a macho image, performing death-defying acts without a stuntman and challenging anyone who questioned his toughness. Few fans knew that behind his famous "knock this battery off my shoulder" commercials lurked a man battling chronic pain from injuries that would have stopped most men. Conrad's fearlessness ultimately cost him dearly. A devastating 2003 car crash left him partially paralyzed on his right side, forcing the once virile action star to use a wheelchair. A cruel fate for a man whose entire identity centered on physical prowess. Studio executives kept his health struggles hidden for years, perpetuating the myth of the indestructible action hero. Conrad spent his final years in agony from injuries sustained doing his stunts. The very things that made him famous slowly killed him. His heart finally gave out at 84 after decades of fighting his body's decline. Even in death, his legacy as television's toughest man overshadowed the physical suffering he endured in silence. Number 5. Tyrone Power. Hollywood's dashing swashbuckler died in the most dramatic way possible, collapsing during a sword fight on set at just 44 years old. But the shocking truth, Power had been complaining of chest pains for weeks before his fatal heart attack, but studio bosses forced him to continue the physically demanding role in Solomon and Sheba anyway. Power's death exposed Hollywood's darkest secret. Stars were disposable assets to be worked until they broke. The handsome actor dropped dead mid-scene opposite George Sanders, with cameras rolling. Studio executives' first concern wasn't for the dying star, but for how to salvage the expensive production. They quickly replaced him with Yul Brynner and reshot his scenes, erasing Power from the very film that killed him. Even more heartbreaking, after years of being typecast in action roles, Power had finally convinced studios to let him show his dramatic talent, a chance he never lived to fully realize. His military service during World War II, flying dangerous combat missions, weakened his heart, but Hollywood's grueling demands delivered the final blow. Studio publicity teams worked overtime to downplay how preventable his death truly was. Number 4. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi wasn't just an actor, he was a legend. When he first appeared as Count Dracula in the 1931 classic, audiences were captivated. His thick Hungarian accent, his hypnotic stare, and that eerie charm made him an overnight sensation. But while the world saw a horror icon behind the scenes, Lugosi was slowly sinking into a nightmare of his own. Typecasting became his curse. After playing Dracula, Lugosi found it nearly impossible to get roles outside the horror genre. Directors didn't want the man, just the monster. And when horror temporarily fell out of favor in Hollywood, so did Lugosi. The jobs stopped coming, the lights dimmed, and the applause turned into silence. To make things worse, Lugosi suffered from sciatica, a painful nerve condition that left him in constant agony. Doctors prescribed him morphine, and soon the addiction took hold. It wasn't long before he was dependent both on the drug and on whatever scraps of work he could find. Desperate to survive, Lugosi ended up working with Ed Wood, a man famously dubbed the worst director in film history. The once revered actor was now starring in ultra-low-budget, cringeworthy films like Plan 9 from Outer Space. It was humiliating, but it was all he had. No big studio came to his rescue. No one cared. When Lugosi died of a heart attack at 73, he had nothing. Not even enough money for his burial. In a haunting twist, he was buried wearing his Dracula cape, not as a final honor, but because his family hoped the publicity stunt would help cover funeral costs. It worked. Frank Sinatra, upon hearing the heartbreaking story, stepped in and paid for the service. Meanwhile, Lugosi's longtime rival, Boris Karloff, who played Frankenstein's monster, continued to enjoy steady work and respect in his final years. The contrast couldn't be more tragic. Lugosi's downfall is more than just a sad story. It's a brutal reminder of how fast Hollywood forgets its heroes once they're no longer useful. His tragic ending remains one of the industry's darkest secrets. Number 3. Vic Morrow. The death of veteran action star Vic Morrow wasn't just tragic. It was a catastrophe that exposed Hollywood's darkest, most criminal secrets. Morrow, known for his tough guy roles and action-packed scenes, met his end during the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie in 1982. While attempting to save 2 illegally hired child actors, Morrow was decapitated by a helicopter blade during a dramatic Vietnam War scene. What makes this tragedy even more haunting is that it was entirely preventable. Morrow's death was caught on camera, exposing the deep-rooted negligence and dangerous practices hidden behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. The accident unfolded while the children, aged 6 and 7, were filming in the middle of the night at around 2:30 a.m. under perilous conditions. They had been hired under the table to avoid the necessary work permits, bypassing child labor laws. The stunt that Morrow was performing was a high-risk sequence involving a helicopter flying dangerously close to the actors. Morrow had repeatedly expressed concerns about the safety of the scene, but he was pressured by director John Landis to proceed. The director had knowingly broken multiple safety regulations and failed to secure proper permits, all to get the explosive, dramatic shots he was after. The incident rocked the industry and sparked an investigation. However, despite the severity of the accident, the resulting trial ended in acquittals for Landis and the other filmmakers involved, proving once again that Hollywood often prioritizes its interests over the safety of its actors. For Morrow, who had been hoping for a career comeback, the tragedy became a somber, cautionary tale. The horrific nature of his death meant that his family, including his estranged daughter, actress Jennifer Jason Leigh, learned of the loss through news reports. The footage of Morrow's death remains locked away, a chilling reminder of the industry's darkest secrets and the extreme lengths it sometimes goes to for the sake of a memorable scene. Even in death, Hollywood protected its own, leaving Morrow's legacy tied to a preventable tragedy that the world could never fully forget. Number 2. John Garfield. He didn't die in a gunfight or go down swinging in a ring. John Garfield, star of gritty classics like Body and Soul, was brought down by something much colder: politics and fear. During the height of the McCarthy era, when Hollywood became a hunting ground for suspected communists, Garfield was dragged into the chaos. The House Un-American Activities Committee wanted names, and Garfield refused to give them. That decision would cost him everything. Studio bosses who once celebrated his every move turned their backs overnight. Offers stopped coming. His name vanished from marquees. It didn't matter that he wasn't a communist, just that he wouldn't betray others to prove it. The blacklist chewed him up and spat him out. Under the weight of public suspicion and professional exile, his personal life crumbled. His marriage fell apart, and his health, already shaky from a childhood illness, got worse. At just 39 years old, John Garfield's heart gave out. But make no mistake, he didn't die of natural causes. He was killed by stress, heartbreak, and a brutal system that demanded conformity over courage. He died alone, not on a movie set, but in a friend's apartment, his legacy smeared by cruel rumors that he'd been hiding something. But there were no secrets left, just a broken man, betrayed by the very industry he helped build. Number 1. Clark Gable. The king of Hollywood died a death shrouded in whispers and studio cover-ups that continue to this day. Gable, the legendary star of Gone with the Wind, suffered a massive heart attack at 59. But what you haven't been told is how directly his final film contributed to his death. The Misfits, which also claimed Marilyn Monroe's life shortly after, required Gable to perform grueling physical stunts in the Nevada desert heat, despite his already failing health. Studio executives, desperate to finish the troubled production, pushed him beyond human limits. Gable, ever the professional, refused to use a stunt double, completing physically demanding scenes that doctors had explicitly warned could kill him. The devastating truth? Gable suffered his heart attack just days after filming ended. His body finally collapsed after being pushed too far. Even more heartbreaking, Gable's wife was pregnant when he died. He never lived to see his only biological child. The studio system that had worked him to death immediately set about sanitizing the circumstances, downplaying the connection between his final film and his fatal heart attack. His legacy as Hollywood royalty was preserved, but at the cost of the truth. Gable's death marked not just the end of a star, but the end of Hollywood's golden age itself. If these tragic endings shocked you, just wait until you hear what some stars were hiding while they were alive. Hit that like button if you grew up watching any of these legends. Subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's hidden past, because what you think you know is only the beginning. And let us know in the comments which of these tragic deaths hit you the hardest. What if I told you that some of Hollywood's most iconic action heroes, famous for playing macho, woman-charming tough guys, were living secret lives the studios would do anything to hide? Behind the stunts, the fame, and the fake romances, were men forced to choose between truth and survival. In an era where being gay meant losing everything, these stars kept their real identities locked behind closed doors, some for life. Here are 10 action legends whose hidden truth could have ended their careers overnight. Number 10. Rock Hudson, the ultimate deception. America's perfect leading man was living a perfect lie. Women across the nation fantasized about Rock Hudson, completely unaware of the devastating truth. The man they dreamed about was gay in an era when that revelation meant career death. The shocking truth: studio executives arranged a sham marriage to cure him. His wife, his agent's secretary, was nothing but a pawn in Hollywood's twisted game of deception. For years, Hudson lived in constant fear of exposure. Every public appearance, every interview, every date was a carefully orchestrated lie. The price of fame? Living in a prison of deceit. When AIDS finally claimed his life in 1985, America was forced to confront the bitter truth they'd refused to see. "I am not happy about having to lie all the time," Hudson once confessed to a close friend. The man who made millions swoon died carrying the weight of a lifetime of secrets. Number 9. Cesar Romero, the Joker's deadliest prank. You know him as Batman's cackling nemesis, but Cesar Romero was pulling off the greatest deception in Hollywood. While the studio marketed him as the Latin lover who made women weak in the knees, the real Cesar Romero was hiding in plain sight. The man who swashbuckled across screens and charmed his way through adventure films never married. A red flag in Hollywood's golden era. Why? Because Romero was gay and everyone in the industry knew it. What the public never saw were the lavish private parties where Romero could finally be himself, away from the suffocating mask the studios forced him to wear. His flamboyant personality, hidden from fans for decades, was an open secret among Hollywood elites. "Caesar was the gayest man I ever knew," revealed one stunned co-star after his death. But it was a different time. He did what he had to do to survive in Hollywood. The Joker's greatest trick wasn't on Batman, it was on an unsuspecting America. Number 8. Tab Hunter, the boy next door's forbidden love. Those innocent blue eyes and all-American smiles captured teenage hearts nationwide. Tab Hunter was every mother's dream son-in-law and every girl's fantasy boyfriend, if only they knew the bombshell truth. While teenage girls plastered his photos on their bedroom walls, Hunter was secretly in love with Psycho star Anthony Perkins. Their forbidden relationship existed in shadows, separate cars to restaurants, entering buildings through back doors, never being photographed together. The studio propaganda machine worked overtime, creating fictitious romances with starlets for fan magazines. Every date was a calculated photo opportunity. Every romance was a studio creation. The golden boy was living in a golden cage. The heartbreaking reality, Hunter later revealed, "I was living with a knife over my head. One wrong move and everything would come crashing down." When he finally told his truth in his explosive memoir, Tab Hunter Confidential, America was forced to confront the cruel system that tortured its brightest stars. Number 7. Tyrone Power, the swashbuckler's secret battles. With his dark good looks and athletic grace, Tyrone Power dominated the adventure film genre in the 1930s and 40s. Films like The Mark of Zorro, 1940, Blood and Sand, 1941, and Captain from Castile, 1947, showcased his swordsmanship and physical charisma, making him one of 20th Century Fox's most valuable stars. Despite his on-screen romances with Linda Darnell, Gene Tierney, and other leading ladies, Power's private life was considerably more complex. Married 3 times and the father of 3 children, Power was what would today be described as bisexual, though this term wasn't commonly used during his lifetime. Power's affairs with men were known within certain Hollywood circles, but kept rigorously hidden from the public. Hurd Hatfield, who starred with Power in The Picture of Dorian Gray, later confirmed the rumors, stating, "Ty had affairs with men as well as women. It was not uncommon in Hollywood in those days." According to multiple biographers, Power had relationships with composer Lawrence Hart and actor Watson Webb, though these connections remained clandestine. Like many stars of his era, Power benefited from the protection of studio head Darryl F. Zanuck, who intervened to suppress any potential scandals that might damage his valuable star's career. What's particularly notable about Power is how his bisexuality informed his screen persona. His performances often carried an underlying sense of duality and secret identity, most explicitly in The Mark of Zorro, where he expertly portrayed both the foppish Don Diego and the passionate masked Zorro. This theme of the dual life of the hidden self resonated with audiences then and continues to fascinate viewers today. Power's life was cut tragically short when he suffered a heart attack on the set of Solomon and Sheba in 1958 at age 44. His legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest swashbuckling stars remains secure, though the full complexity of his personal life is only now being fully appreciated. Number 6. Raymond Burr, the man who invented his own life. Before becoming America's most trusted television attorney, as Perry Mason, Raymond Burr built a film career playing intimidating villains and action roles, most notably as the murderer in Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, 1954. His imposing physical presence and deep voice made him a natural for roles requiring menace and authority. Off-screen, Burr constructed an elaborate fictional biography to conceal his homosexuality. He fabricated a tragic past that included a brief early marriage to a woman named Annette Sutherland, who supposedly died in the same plane crash that killed actor Leslie Howard during World War II. He also invented a son who died of leukemia as a child. Neither the wife nor the son existed. The truth was that from 1947 until he died in 1993, Burr lived with his partner Robert Benavides, whom he met on the set of Perry Mason. Together, they established a successful orchid business and vineyard in California. Their relationship remained private during Burr's lifetime, with Benavides usually described as Burr's business partner in press accounts. Burr's fabrications weren't unusual for gay actors of his generation. Studios often created heterosexual narratives for their stars, complete with arranged dates and even marriages. What makes Burr's case remarkable is the elaborate detail of his fictional biography and how completely it was accepted by the public and press for decades. Despite his secrecy about his personal life, Burr was known for his extraordinary generosity. He made frequent USO tours to entertain American troops and quietly paid for numerous students to attend college. This philanthropic legacy, along with his unforgettable performances, forms an important part of his complex historical portrait. After Burr's death, Benavides inherited the estate and continued to manage their business ventures. He has occasionally spoken about their relationship, providing insight into their 4 decades together. "We were partners in every sense of the word," Benavides stated in a rare interview. "He was a remarkable man who lived a remarkable life." Number 5. Vincent Price, master of horror, master of secrets. That unmistakable voice sent chills down your spine. But Vincent Price was hiding something far more terrifying than any horror film: his true self. The elegant, sophisticated star lived in fear of exposing his most personal truth. Though married twice to women and a father, Price harbored a secret that could destroy his carefully crafted image. He was bisexual. In the ruthless world of 1950s Hollywood, such a revelation would have ended everything. His daughter Victoria dropped the bombshell after his death, confirming what insiders had whispered for years. "My father believed in living his truth," she revealed, "but he also knew the world wasn't ready for it yet." The man who played monsters on screen was treated like one in real life, forced to hide his authentic self. Price brought terror to audiences worldwide, but the real terror was what would happen if his fans discovered who he was. Number 4. Michael Greer, the star who risked everything. While other actors hid in the shadows, Michael Greer stared down Hollywood and refused to blink. In a shocking act of defiance, he did the unthinkable. He told the truth. In an industry built on lies, Greer's honesty came with a devastating price. After starring in groundbreaking films like The Gay Deceivers in 1970, Greer watched as doors slammed shut, roles dried up, opportunities vanished. His punishment for honesty? Career suicide. "I decided to be honest about who I am," Greer defiantly stated. "If that means I don't get certain parts, so be it." While his contemporaries lived in golden cages, Greer chose freedom, even as Hollywood punished him for it. His courage paved the way for future generations, but Greer paid a terrible price for his bravery. The industry that claimed to celebrate individuality crushed anyone who dared to be truly individual. Number 3. Richard Pryor, the comedian's no laughing matter. The man who made America laugh was hiding pain so deep it would shock his millions of fans. Richard Pryor, raw, unfiltered, and brutally honest on stage, was keeping one explosive secret. Despite multiple marriages and a legendary reputation with women, Pryor dropped a bombshell in his autobiography that Hollywood never saw coming. He had relationships with men. In an industry obsessed with rigid sexuality, Pryor refused to be categorized. "I've been with everything and everyone," he shockingly admitted. "I don't care what people think about that." While other stars carefully maintained their public image, Pryor bulldozed through Hollywood's expectations with the same ferocity that made him a comedic legend. His brutal honesty cost him dearly in an industry built on beautiful lies. While his talent couldn't be denied, the whispers followed him everywhere. The man who could make anyone laugh was crying behind closed doors. Number 2. Joel Grey, Broadway's darkest secret. The Tony and Oscar winner who dazzled audiences worldwide was hiding in the darkest shadows. Joel Grey, the master showman, the captivating performer, was trapped in a prison of his own making for over 8 decades. Married for 24 years and father to Dirty Dancing star Jennifer Grey, the truth he was hiding would stun Hollywood. Grey was gay, but the most shocking part? He kept this secret until he was 82 years old, finally breaking his silence in 2015. "I don't like labels," Grey finally admitted to People magazine, "but if you have to put a label on it, I'm a gay man." The devastating reality? Grey spent his entire celebrated career, his entire life, hiding who he truly was. The entertainer who brought joy to millions couldn't find joy in his truth. His daughter Jennifer revealed the heartbreaking truth. "I'm very happy that my father has found a way to be who he is. It's never too late to be your true self." But why did it take 82 years? The answer lies in Hollywood's darkest corners. Number 1. George Takei. The final frontier was freedom. Before he boldly went where no man had gone before as Star Trek's Hikaru Sulu, George Takei was forced to hide his true identity. The man who helped navigate the Enterprise through cosmic dangers was navigating a more treacherous course on Earth. The devastating truth? While Takei played a hero on screen, he couldn't be heroic enough to live his truth. Being an openly gay Asian American actor in the 1960s wasn't just career suicide. It was impossible. For decades, Takei lived a carefully orchestrated double life. It wasn't until 2005, at age 68, that he finally revealed his 18-year relationship with partner Brad. The shocking revelation? One of sci-fi's most beloved icons had been forced to hide his authentic self for most of his life. "I spent most of my life hiding," Takei confessed in a heart-wrenching interview. "Now I want to help create a world where no one has to hide anymore." The man who explored strange new worlds on television couldn't explore his world honestly. The shocking truth about these 10 stars exposes the cruel reality behind Hollywood's dazzling facade. These weren't just actors. They were prisoners in a system designed to crush individuality and enforce conformity. Studio executives didn't just control their careers, they controlled their very lives. Fake relationships, sham marriages, invented life stories. The price of fame was surrendering your true self to become what America wanted you to be. Some found secret happiness despite the crushing weight of deception. Others crumbled under the pressure, turning to alcohol, drugs, and destructive behaviors to cope with living a lie. The true horror of old Hollywood wasn't on the screen, it was behind it. Today's Hollywood claims to celebrate diversity and authenticity, but these 10 stars never got to experience that freedom. They lived and died in an era when being yourself could cost you everything. Their stories aren't just history, they're a warning about what happens when society forces people to become something they're not. Now you know the truth. But how many more stars are still hiding behind the spotlight? If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and smash the bell, because we're diving deeper into the secrets Hollywood hoped you'd never hear. More names, more stories, more truth. Are you ready for what's next? Stay bold, stay curious, and always remember, the real action happens when the cameras stop rolling.